Hi, well this is Wednesday and it's about a week later than the video I did of this market last time. I just happened to be here again and it is a considerably nicer day. Somebody told me it was meant to go up to 20 today and it feels as though it might actually make it. There's no wind and the sky is clear and the sun is visible. Don't look at that picture directly. And altogether it feels rather nice. People are busy setting up their stalls.
के हजुर दुईटा मात्रै हो ए त्यही त तिम्रो के त थियो हैन अर्को भोलि ल्याऊ मैले भोलि दिन्छु भेज ल तिमीलाई पुग्छ नि म भोलि दिन्छु पनि चेन्ज गरेर यहाँ फालिदिएको थिएँ उताबाट छोडिहाल्छु भोलि हाल्छु भोलि दिन्छु है ल
No. No.
What I said about the wind was premature. It's obviously got up rather a lot now. It's doing a very good job on the smoke from the Greek barbecue. Well, that's my breakfast, and the smoke is still billowing from the Greek stall over there. And I'm beginning to feel a decidedly unfamiliar sensation. I have a lighter coat on than normal, It's only got 3/4 sleeves, and I'm wearing it because I like the colour. And I've got a jersey and a shirt under that. And I'm actually feeling, I think the word is warm. It's not a word I've used recently. And I'll have to check with the Oxford English dictionaries to see whether it's fallen out of the vocabulary or not. But I think I could even be starting to sweat, which is another word I've not used recently. I might even be able to take my coat off today.
towards this side, won't they?
the route through the building? Yes. Well, I've learned that the buildings have the top floor taken off and they're adding 2 new floors. Yeah. And I wanted to see what
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, what I recognised. Did you? Yeah. Because she kept looking at me as well.
Right, well, it's now 1:10, and this is another slice of my Wednesday life. I went to the market this morning for breakfast, and I've been doing stuff in the Art, Architecture and Ancient World Library here. Hello. Videoing is made a bit more complicated because it's now very bright, and again my phone can't keep up with the rapid exposure changes, and also of course I can't talk in the library, so I thought I'd just show you 2 of the book exhibitions. They exhibit books on various themes each term. And this term, one of the themes was colour, and the other was transsexuality or something similar. I'm not sure of the exact description. And you saw me video the covers of some of the books on colour, including ones about natural pigments, natural substances that we used for dyes before we managed to make synthetic ones. Old American colour photography, Victorian clothes colour, and so on. And 2 particularly interesting ones were on the nature of statues from ancient Greece and Egypt and other parts of the ancient world. And we always think of them as white. That's how they're usually presented in museums. But it seems that that's often not so. They were brilliantly coloured, or many of them were brilliantly coloured. Perhaps not just painted, but even more like theatre props. And I flicked through one of the books just to give a few examples, and if anybody's interested, look up something like Colour of Ancient Greek Statues or Polychromy in the Ancient World, or words to that effect. I'll say a bit more about it in another video. And one of the things I showed from the display on the other side was the Public Genitals project, which was one of the exhibits in the 99 Objects in Trans History book. People seem to like doing series of objects in particular histories. I've seen a 100 objects in the Doctor Who universe, and the BBC, one of the Radio 4 probably, did a selection of 100 objects, the history of the world in 100 objects, a few years ago. I think it was not long before COVID. And the book I was flicking through was 99 objects in trans history. And one of them was the Public Genitals Project, which involved a man who the genital area of his trousers had been cut away and replaced by a computer screen, and the description said that he'd made a random selection of about 10,000 genitalia pictures from various sources, and the screen on his trousers was flicking through these, showing one picture every few seconds. Anyway, that's part of what the Sackler has in its collection. Students go there to read up on archaeology and anthropology, amongst other things. So that's another slice of Oxford life. I haven't shown you inside that library before. And it is now 1:15, and I'm standing on Beaumont Street, and although it's fairly windy, it is actually pretty warm. So what I'm going to do next, I have to ring somebody about fixing their WordPress site. WordPress is a system for building web pages, including blogs. And then I'm going to go down to Cowley Road, so I'll rejoin a bit later. Well, from the sublime to the ridiculous, I'm now outside the Side Business School, and I was looking to see, they had a splendid statue, or sculpture rather, last year, called Seated Man, and it was about there on the forecourt, but it's gone. Maybe he is inside. And when I say the ridiculous, I really mean the Botley Road Station Bridge reconstruction project, which has been pushed later and later and later, much to the annoyance of shops around here. And well, the last date I heard for the bridge to be reopened, the bridge that carries the railway over this road, was August 2026. But until that happens, the road is blocked here and no traffic can get under the bridge, which has caused a lot of disruption. And they keep changing the paths that pedestrians have to follow, so I'm not quite sure. I suppose I go around here. I think that could apply to every cyclist on every pavement in Britain. So eventually that fencing will be removed and we'll be able to go under the station bridge again, but not for at least 6 months. And this is Botley Road. And about half a mile on at the end of Botley Road, Botley has its own shopping estate, which is a little sort of imitation of the Westgate called Westway. And that has seen an awful lot of building in the past few years. And this is a different inconvenience from the station bridge. This is Thames Water. They originally said they were going to be finished at the end of March last year, but they didn't. Hi. Well, I'm standing at the North Hinksey end of Willow Lane now. That's the track from Ferry Hinksey Road to North Hinksey. And I'm watching Zach from Xero Motorbikes in Ferry Hinksey Road drive what I have learnt is called a quadricycle. And a quadricycle is a cross between a small electric car and a bike. And it looks very simple to drive, does about 60 miles to the charge apparently. That is, you can get about 60 miles before you need to recharge it. And I'll say a little bit more when I'm back at Zach's garage in Ferry Hinksey Road. But for the moment, let's just watch him drive the car. And we're just going to watch him go back and forth a few times. Hi, I'm standing in Ferry Hinksey Road now, and I'm facing south towards the Oseneymead Industrial Estate and the Electric Avenue, the path along the buried electricity cables to South Hinksey. And Botley Road is in that direction. And I'm standing outside a garage there, which turns out to be run by Zach from Xero Motorbikes. And it turns out that I featured them last year when I videoed a shop in Broad Street. The shop had been temporarily closed and the council was holding an art exhibition there, and the Botley Road traders were also exhibiting, just telling everybody that they're still here despite the closure of the station bridge that I talked about earlier. And in a minute I shall show a small electric car, and I've actually been in one too, and hopefully I can get another ride in a minute. And this is the sort of thing that I'm talking about. And it is very nippy. It gives a nice smooth ride.
Thank you. All right. Thanks for your time, sir. Take care.
And it's very environmentally friendly. Apparently, you can go about 60 miles on a charge before it needs recharging, which is a good long distance. And I'm going to video a ride in it now, I think. And this is its brother, so to speak. And I personally am very much in favour of this. If you look at the Banbury Road at school leaving time, round about 3:30 on a weekday, you'll know why I'm in favour. It's because it's solidly jammed with traffic all the way from the Sunderland Avenue roundabout down to Summertown itself, and usually further on to Wolfson College or so. There are just too many vehicles on the road, so anything that makes them smaller and more manoeuvrable is good. Right, here we go. So we're now driving down Ferry Hinksey Road. Going through Oseneymead Industrial Estate. And one nice thing is that the doors can be removed and so can the roof, or the roof can just be raised, and the roof is raised at the moment and I can feel the wind in my hair, which is really nice. into the Thames. And if we continued down there, we could walk all the way to Folly Bridge. That is Willow Lane on the other side of the road. That is Botley Road. must say this is wonderful for just seeing Oxford. It's great. Usney Bridge. Bush. Go and drink there sometime because it's a much underappreciated pub. Okay. Okay, well that's my first ride in a quadricycle. Okay, so that is the Xero electric quadricycle from Xero Motorbikes, run by Zach. Hi. Well, this is my last stop in a typical Oxford day, and I'm on Magdalen Bridge, and I'm going to walk down through part of St Clement's to Cowley Road and look at one of the shops there. And I've stopped on Magdalen Bridge because Magdalen College has been doing a lot of demolition and is going to be doing a lot of rebuilding, and I just want to see how that's going. They demolished the old Wainfleet building, and for a time this was the Wainfleet or Magdalen rubble pile or rubble mountain, but they now seem to have cleared most of the rubble. And this is Dawson Street, which connects St Clement's with Cowley Road. And at the end of it on the left is the rather badly punned Casbah. Now, Cowley Road is famous for its restaurants of many nations, and there are food shops of many nations too, and I'm going to look at one of the nearest. And this is the shop that I'm talking about, the Morocco Deli. And the Morocco Deli, as I say, Cowley Road has a lot of food shops selling food from different countries. The oldest of these is somewhere up in that direction. I think it's the London Continental Stores, and I think they might have been going from the 80s. I'm not sure of the exact date, but if they were the first, I believe the Morocco Deli is the second. The date on their canopy there to the left of the Arabic is Morocco Deli, established 1992. And it is my favourite food shop. Amongst the things that it sells include dates pastries, date paste, various types of hummus, some of it spiced, a red hot sauce called harissa, assorted cheeses, halloumi, funny rubbery sort of cheese, and various other variants on that type, feta, long green peppers, which are more spicy than you might think. I can see some, I think, in the third tray from the left on the vegetables. On the vegetable stand. Good assortment of spices, assorted non-food items such as Moroccan lanterns, lots of types of olive oil, including Moroccan olive oil, which is rather different, more sort of earthy from Greek, Spanish, Italian and so on, and that's well worth trying. And they've also got a halal butcher's, and it's very nicely kept. It's got a hygiene rating of 5, which is the best you can get, and it's a nice place to visit. So that's the Morocco Deli, and I urge people to go along because it's worth supporting. And what I'm going to do now is to make the aubergines dance, and I'll go somewhere quieter to explain that. Okay, well, I said I'm going to make the aubergines dance. There will indeed be some dancing here from the 10th of April for about 3 days. At least I think there will. Last year it was used as a space for Morris dancing by the Oxford Folk Festival, and I hope they'll be doing the same again this year. If they will, I'll be videoing it. But that's not why I've come here. I've come here because it's quiet, away from the traffic, and I want to talk about making aubergines dance. So I used one of the AI drawing programs to draw a rather nice Beano-style cartoon of the front of the Morocco Deli, paying special attention to the trays of vegetables, the fascia, and the bricks and doors in the wall. There's a neighbour's door to the left of the door in the shop, into the shop. And then I did some work on that and turned it into a little, what you might call an animated vegetable display builder. And what it allows me to do is to set up a vegetable display like the Morocco Delis with, for example, different colour brickwork, different doors, but more significantly with a chorus line of dancing vegetables in front of the display. And I can customise that by raising it and lowering it and so on. And I can also change the sex of the vegetables, or the number of vegetables, and I can make them dance. Fairly rudimentary dancing at the moment, but it's a start. And I will end the video by showing you a few runs of this. So that is a typical Oxford day with spicy curry, Greek fire, polychrome gods, the public genitalia project, electric quadricycles, and dancing aubergines. See you next time.